Hi guys, Hotshot here, and welcome back once again to another Evil Dead video. If you're seeing the title right now, this is a rant video. If you saw the last one, we talked about the prestige system, read your guys' comments on that, and I understood where you guys were also coming from about how they should just rework it and reduce the grind, and I understand that. I don't know. I think I was just frustrated with just how it is in the game, and I think the prestige system really fucked over the balance of the game. So that's what I was concerned. Like, oh, they should just remove it. And obviously, you guys had your own opinions too, and I totally respect and I see where you guys are coming from. But whatever they do with the prestige system, if they reduce it or remove it, I'm fine with either one. So I'm glad we all came to a neutral understanding of each other. So that's how the community should be based around. So that was the whole point. In today's video, we're gonna be ranting about Evil Ash because he's been my main since day one, and we have a lot to kind of talk about, so let's just hop into it. So, to start off, I want to just give out the big thing. What I'm about to say is Saber really didn't understand this character, and what I mean by that is, like, I feel like he could have had a lot more to him than a lot of people realize because of just how his gameplay is. So the reason why I say this and why I think this makes sense is because of the fact that they failed to realize how, like, when you look at how he's played, like, Evil Ash is basically a necromancer at this point. I think we all can agree on that. And his whole kit is based around just, if you go to his abilities, you look at skeletal support and you look at skeleton resurrection, he summons skeletons and then he can resurrect. So he's basically a necromancer, and it's what his name is, but like there's more to necromancers that meets the eye, so it's like kind of a weird scenario. So the first thing I want to go over is like his active ability, and since Ball has 2 active abilities, I feel like all the demons in the game should have 2 active abilities to make their flow better. And I feel unique because, like, Ball has 2 of its 2 abilities, so, like, why not have 2 for every character, Like, Henrietta would have something interesting, and Evil Ash could definitely use something interesting to his kit to make him feel more rewarding to play. And, for instance, Flute to Kill is probably, like, one of the weakest abilities in the game because, like, I mean, looking at the numbers, like, 75 damage buff increase and just damage reduction, and then that's it. Meanwhile, with Ball, you have, like, speed increase, and then, like, with the traps reset instantly, you get fear increase, and then you have, like, mass paranoia and of tricking survivors and of who's possessing who, and then all that fun shit. And it's like, when you look at all these characters, you're like, why doesn't any other character have that type of ability similar? Like, Necromancer could have something similar to that. With Evil Ash and his lore, he's like the commander of the Army of Darkness. He's like their general. It's literally in his whole lore himself. Like, I've read he has dark magic. He, has all these hallucinations. He summons skeletons, resurrects them. It's one of his thing that he does as an actual character in the comic books, because I guess the IP holders looked into the comic books a lot more than the actual game or any other time back then, obviously. So for example, Flute to Kill is very weak because, like, when you put the flutist down and he dies, he doesn't really have anything else, and then he just becomes very, very vulnerable, and I'm not a fan of that. So I feel like Flute to Kill should either be reworked or they can just trash it. And in an opinion, I would say, like, maybe if Evil Ash absorbs the souls of the skeletons that are killed, you can have a thing where he absorbs the souls and he can, like, buff himself to get, like, increased attack speed, or even, like, increased attack speed, more health, and maybe you can trash his choke ability and give him, like, a crossbow or something like he had in the movie. There's a lot in the movie that they really didn't put into the game, which is unfortunate, so that's something I really want to go over. Like, Skeletophobia, I feel like, is trash. I feel like skeletal injury is not great either, and I think motivational music is kind of like, it's like Flute to Kill is his best, and then, like, I think, motivational music is probably just another thing. Skeletophobia just increases the fear, of the survivors if you're near them, but like I'm still not like, it doesn't really give like too much. It's like you get like a 5% buff to it, which is just really useless. Then you have motivational music, which is whatever. And then skeletal injury just gives them a damage buff received, and then maximum stacks of 5. And I'm not really a fan of it. Now, a way I would say that they really didn't understand is that why can't Evil Ash just like command his army to attack a certain survivor? That's what I've said in many videos. You've heard it from me 1,000 times. Like that could be his second active ability, like Ball is like you can have him command the skeletons to attack a certain survivor, and you know he can absorb the souls of the skeletons, and he can also like have a crossbow as like a ranged weapon or something in his kit, because that's what he had in the movie. And one of the main things of his character arc is that he's the general. He has more stuff in his lore than many people realize. Like there's a lot of things in his skill tree that doesn't make any sense. Like you get 40% extra healing off of your grab, or you heal off of your grab attack. But it's like in most situations, like you don't really see a difference sometimes. And I feel like if you wanted to do that, like you could buff this perk to be higher, or just trash this perk and rework it so he takes reduced damage from ranged attacks. That's what should all be on boss units. When I go to his kit and I see that he has like a lot of shit. So start off with his basic unit. This was a missed opportunity for them because they kind of fucked over the basic units, or just the units in general. So if you guys watched Army of Darkness and you've like looked at how like he had archers in the film, but he doesn't have it in the game, and like the soldiers in the movie, they literally had like swords, maces, and crossbows, and even double swords. And so like in the game, the basic units just have shields and a spear, and it's like, why can't like the skeletons, like when you spawn them, they have different weapon types, and then you can like when you spawn them, they have different weapon types for them to actually play better. Like that would be his unique thing, is like they all had different weapons, and they all had different their own abilities in some way. Like when you put the flutist down, like Evil Ash had like bagpipes, he had drums, something to make it interesting. That would make his kit like feel more like it would stick to his lore, and it would stick to how he was in the movie. Like, and if you want, like, why can't like the basic units have like a weapon stance, or like a range stance and a melee combat stance? Have a skill tree, and where you can do all ranged or all melee, or do half and half, so it's even. So it's like you have like a cool skill tree for the basic units. Again, this was a missed out opportunity. When you go to his skeleton elite, for instance, it's like this was again another missed opportunity, and it's like I'm not a fan of his elite unit because of the fact that they're too slow. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of defense. They can do a decent amount of damage with the slam attack. It's really good. However, he's so slow that it's very easy to dodge the elite units, and it's just not. I'm not a fan of them personally. In my honest opinion, like his elite unit should have been his Deadite captain. It's like the captain of the Army of Darkness, and which it's his right hand man in the movie. And again, this was something that they really should have added, was his Deadite captain, where he can put down a war flag and it reduces balance bar, buffs health, and has a nice aura to it. And then he can have a second ability where he can spawn with a sword, and then he could probably inflict bleed damage or something, or make himself tankier. I don't know, something to make him feel rewarding. But again, this is what Saber didn't. I don't know why they didn't implement him, unless they weren't allowed to, but this would have made him a lot better. I'll even put a picture on the screen. Like, this would have made him a lot more unique to play, and I feel like this would have made him more unique to his lore. Because the devs talk about lore in this game so much, but they really don't understand the character's arcs in that regard. Like, you can literally look in the comic books, it's so much easier to read them. So I think they messed up on the Skeleton Elite. This was a missed out opportunity. Now, Evil Ash, I can rant about this boss unit all day. It's like, they really fucked over on how easy it was for him to... Like, he summons skeletons, he resurrects skeletons, he can choke a survivor and heal, he can dodge like a survivor. That's all cool. But, like, there was a lot of missed out opportunities that they literally could have done for him to make him feel better. Like, the skins that he has in the game aren't even that good. Like his basic skin is fine, obviously, but his fucking gilded one was just not the greatest in my opinion. And one of my main problems is that a lot of people will sit here and tell you that, oh, he's a fine demon, you don't know how to use him well. The problem is that he's just really easy to dodge with his sword attacks, as he's so slow with the attacks, and they buffed his heavy attack speed, but like it still feels the same, and there was a lot of things that were an issue. Like if it was up to me personally, I think like there was a lot of opportunities that they missed. Like one, commanding an army of skeletons to attack a certain survivor. As a necromancer, he could probably have used dark magic or something that he actually did in the comic books. You know, maybe like if he summoned extra skeletons to help fight, you know, what if they just made it so he summons 3 basic units and 3 elite units or something? Or, well, that would go against the skeleton. That would go against my elite unit idea with the Deadite captain. But he can also, like, the captain can probably summon extra skeletons or something, or he can summon skeletons themselves. I just think, like, if he summoned extra skeletons, you know, you can keep the elite units in the game. Just have the Deadite captain summon them or something. The skeleton resurrection, I feel like if they come back, they should all automatically have reduced balance bar. They should have really a lot of tankier health, and they should have, like, I don't know, maybe a buff to them or something. I feel like the choke ability could be trashed, and I feel like if he absorbs the souls from the Deadite skeletons or something, he should have a thing where he can send out like shadow skeletons or ghost skeletons or something, and then he can heal off of it if they do a lot of bleed damage or something. I think the dodge is fine, they should keep it, but there's a lot of stuff in his kit that they really missed out an opportunity on. The outfits, like, I'll show a picture on screen. If you read the comic book Ash in Space, he has a thing where he has the Necronomicon attached to his chest, and he has a robot fit, and he actually is holding the chainsaw in his arm, and it's like on his hand, like Ash has it like in the TV show. Like, Evil Ash literally was able to use the chainsaw literally in that comic book, and then there's another one where he also cut his hand off and used it as a chainsaw. So I'm like, why the fuck can't Evil Ash do that in this game? Like, that, it's such a missed out opportunity, because I don't think Saber understands the fucking lore in this game, because they messed it up so many times. And in these games that you see, it's like, why the fuck can't Saber, like, understand that sometimes when you're looking at these characters and how they are, it's a missed out opportunity for them to actually see. I'm gonna rant about Survivor soon, because I have a problem with them. Like, this is a gilded outfit, and I'm not really a fan of it because it's all gold, but it's like, it's not my favorite skin in the game. Like, there was so much they could have added. Like, I'd rather they trash this skin and give us the robot fit, because, like, he literally has the Book of the Dead attached to his chest and has a chainsaw with it. I'm like, why the fuck can't Evil Ash pick up a chainsaw in this game? He can do it in Splatter Royale, but that game mode is dead. It's not a fun game mode to play. It's just boring and fucking a waste of time. I don't know, there was so much they really could have done with this character, and it's just a shame that Saber really messed this up, because it's like, there's so much to his kit that they could have added. Like if they had trash Fluke to kill, and like, you can even have him do something similar to how Ruby does when a ghost skeleton dies or something. You could have a thing where, I don't know, something to do it. I don't know, it's a really hard mechanic to implement, maybe. I feel like this could be, the Skeletophobia could be trash, because it's just not that great. I mean, yeah, you can increase fear, but it's like, it doesn't really do anything for the boss unit, you know? It doesn't really do anything for him, because, like, oh, you can possess him, but still, what can the boss unit really do to help himself out? Like, motivational music, it's, like, cool, but it's, like, what does it really do for the team? Or what does it do for him? I mean, yeah, you get an extra 20% extra effect to it, but I still feel like, does that really do anything for the boss unit? Does it really do anything for himself to really do anything? Because bosses are just super weak in this game, unless you're Plaguebringer. But, I don't know, it's just not my favorite thing, and I wish they would make it so, like, this could be either Skeletophobia or motivational music should be, like, a second ability where he can control the skeletons. That would be a really nice change. And then you can have a thing of skeletal injury, which is, I think, really bad. I'm not a fan of it. Like, just trash that perk and just make it something like, He can hold a crossbow. This one could be like he can hold a crossbow like he did in the movie, or hell, make it so the skeletons can ride on horses. I don't fucking know. Something to make him feel unique. This was just a little rant because I really dislike how they fucking ruined this character, in my opinion. They really didn't do enough to him to make him feel like rewarding to play, and I just wish he was like, there are so many instances where if I had the ability to like change anything in this game, like this would be one where, because like there's been games where like the skeletons just stand around and they don't fucking attack that survivor. And I'm like, dude, what are you standing around for? It's a pain in the fucking ass. And I hope one day Saber wakes up and sees this and they're like, yeah, we fucked up. But I don't know. I don't want to sit here and bash Saber for hours because I just don't know what happened. But, you know, maybe the IP holders were picky about how they wanted him to be represented into the game. I don't know. But this was just a shame because this character deserved to be a lot more, like, recognized. And he could have been one of the most interesting characters in the game, period. And you can say no to the cows come home. I'm still going to say he would have been more interesting. Like, imagine a ranged attack on this guy. Imagine skeletal control or deadeye control. Or hell, even in the comics, he had mutation. That's something they could have done in this game, but they fucking didn't do that. There's so many outfits that this guy can have. Like a pirate outfit, a robot outfit, hell, even a fucking hazmat outfit. I don't fucking know. Something unique for him. But yeah, that's probably going to do it for here. I just wanted to rant about this guy because he's my main, and hopefully he'll get changes with the quality of life stuff because he deserves it and rather than anything else. So hopefully they don't nerf him again because he's one of the weakest demons in the game, in my honest opinion. So I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you agree or disagree, I am perfectly cool. We can chat in the comments. I'm down. Yeah, so I'm going to do it for that. And I will catch you guys in the next video. And as always, stay groovy.